Hey, Genderqueer gang, this is Kai. So I noticed that I was looking at the topic list, and I noticed that I made my topic last week, like a week early. But I feel like maybe that's fine, because, I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep going, and yeah. Oh, but if anyone on the channel is against me being a little bit early with my videos, then just let me know, and then I'll we'll work it out. It's gonna be okay. So this week's topic, starting on May 5th, but I'm addressing it on May 4th, starting on May 6th. Do you believe in gender at all? And do you have trouble with the aspect of feminism that treats men and women as separate entities? Do I believe in gender at all? Well, I believe that gender, much like race, is a social construct, meaning that it's not something that just purely exists, like we've made it up as societies. We've slated characteristics to people according to their genitals, and this happens in most societies and cultures across time and space. So in that, I believe in gender in that it's something that is very real for humans, but do I believe that it's something that just occurs naturally? No. Like my cats, right? I have cats that have, what we associate as male genitals, and I have, a cat that has what we would associate as female genitals, but they don't have gender. So it's not something that exists. They have maybe different instincts based on the genitals and hormones that they have in their body, but that would be about it. So I believe in gender because human beings have very much made it real, just like I believe in, Starbucks, because human beings have made that real. However, I don't think it's something that's naturally occurring. It's synthesized through our culture. Do I have trouble with the aspect of feminism that treats men and women as separate entities? Okay, so, So I identify as a radical feminist type, and I guess I would have to read more on this aspect of feminism. I should probably have done some reading before I made the video, but you know what? How about I save this topic for next week, because that way I can do some reading and come back with an educated response instead of trying to pull something out of my ass, because I believe that this is something that perhaps I might be equipped to speak on at length, but I need to think a little bit more about it so that I can give a well thought out response to this. So I realize that this video probably has very little substance then, since I simply just told you what I thought about gender identity, but I guess that's it. Although I would like to address in this video, going along with the concept or subject of gender identity, Hope made a video last week, and a trans gentleman replied to the video saying that because of the way that he interpreted, remember I'm using that, because of the way that he interpreted Hope's voice and Hope's physical appearance, he assumed that Hope, based on his faulty interpretations, was too feminine to identify any other way than Hope does. And I found that very upsetting, first of all, and very marginalizing, and that is the aspect of gender, or that I think that's a way that we box gender, this made up thing. Along with making up gender, we have made up in our minds that in order to align yourself with one area of the spectrum or another or somewhere in between, you have to fit certain characteristics. But the thing is that it's made up by humans, right? And so it's self-identified. And so if Hope wants to self-identify somewhere on that spectrum, it's not, if I want, let me use myself as an example instead of using someone else. If I want to self-identify somewhere on that spectrum, of this made-up thing that I get to interpret for my uses, that different people interpret differently for their uses, it is not upon someone to decide where I'm at, right? It is not upon someone to take my traits and my characteristics and tell me that because I act a certain way, or because they interpret me acting or presenting a certain way, that I therefore can't identify differently beyond their interpretations. So that's not my problem, and that doesn't show a faulty line of reasoning in my identity. It shows a faulty line of reasoning in their interpretation and shows how narrowly they interpret gender. And so I would say that because it is made up, it is flexible, and you get to identify any way you want, and that identity is valid. And the only unfortunate thing about that is that people won't recognize that identity because they've been trained to view gender very narrowly, which is bullshit. Okay, not articulated well, but I hope somebody was able to sit through this. I'm in finals right now, and I have like tons and tons of work. Come here, Eyebrow. This is Eyebrow. Say bye, Bow. Bye.